Good day. Today I'll be walking you through how to upload your data onto the PostgreSQL database. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is launch your pgadmin 4. You can come to your search bar and type pgadmin. So once you launch it, you would have this pgadmin interface. So now let's create our server. We'll click on the drop down, then we have PostgreSQL 15. Then I have about 4 databases. So the data we are working with is the COVID data set. So I would love to name it say COVID DB. COVID DB. Okay. Then from here we would click on, you can check out the SQL query. Okay, then we click on save. All right, it's saving already. Okay, so right now you can see I have my COVID DB here, and then you click on the drop down for schemas. The drop down for table is here. You'd see that there is no table here. Okay, so let's right click and click on our query tool. Okay, and then we're gonna have this interface for the query. Okay, so now we want to create a table. First thing first, you need to check out the data set you want to upload and ensure that the table headers, which is otherwise known as the column names, are in the right order. So exploring a data set that we downloaded from Cargo. So let me open my file explorer. So here's the data sets. Okay. However, let me show you the Excel version. So the one we downloaded from the Cargo website, if you take a look at it from scratch here, you're seeing our country/region, confirmed, deaths, recovered, active, new cases. If you take a look at these new cases, you notice that there is a what? There is a space between new and cases. New deaths, there is also a space. New recovered, deaths per 100 cases. So all these headers are not in the right format. They are not consistent, such that your column name or your header has to be a single word, a single word that does not have a space in between. So in this case, you can decide to use the camel case option, or you use the underscore to join the characters together. So in this wise, I had to save as another CSV file, and the name, which is this new file named countrywise here. Okay, so now you can see I have a country confirmed. So for my new cases earlier on, I had to use underscore to join it together. We have new cases here. You can see new deaths, new recovered. Even for the deaths per 100 cases, recovered per 100 cases. So you can see how everything is having a single uh, column name right now. This will be really much more easier for us. So now to write our query, I'm just gonna import the query. Okay, so data upload using the GUI. So we'll be using two methods, the GUI as well as the command line tool, which is the PSQL tool. Okay, so I said I want to create a table named as countrywise. That is the name of what? The data set. Okay, so we have our country, we have a confirmed. So let me split my screen so you can have this. Okay, let me close this scratch pad. All right, so for the country wise now, so I want us to take a look at the format as well. Country is a character, it contains characters, text, right? So you can see the format is bpchar, bpchar. Then we have for confirmed, it's all true as integer values. That is, there is no full stop, there's no decimal place. Okay, now as well for dates, it's also an integer, right? Up to the new recovered. Okay, you can see that it's just about, they are just single values. However, if you take a look at this deaths per 100 cases, you notice it's in decimal. Okay, so I had to use what? The numeric format for it. Then if you take a look at the recovered per 100 cases, it's also in decimal place. That's why you are seeing a numeric here. You can see recovered per 100 cases. As the name is here, I also had to type it out here on my PG admin. So up to you will see, even for the 1 week change was whole number throughout. So I had to use what? Integer. Then for the 1 week percent increase, it's in decimal. Then my WHO region is a character. Okay, so to create the country-wise table, let me just give this back to full screen, and let me increase the zoom size. Okay, so let's still proceed. So right now you can see create table country-wise, open your bracket, then you close your bracket. So to run this now, I'm going to highlight this. Okay, so the one at the top here is a comment. So if it's highlighted, the PG admin 4 will not recognize it, so it won't run it as a query. Okay, so if I should, you can click on F5 or execute here. So let's take a look at what we have here. It says that the query returned successfully. Okay, so right now let's see if our table exists on our DB. So you can come here and click on refresh. You can see you have the country-wise table right now. So let's check using our SQL statement. Select start, that is select all columns from the country-wise table we just created. Let me execute that again, and then you can see we have the country as a character, confirmed, the deaths per 100 cases as what? Numeric. So that tells us that what? Our table has been successfully created. Okay, so now we're done with creating the table, we're done with checking that the table exists. Now let's upload our data. Okay, so I would right click on this country-wise table. So let me just minimize this, or bring it down a little. So I'll right click on the country-wise table and say import or export data. I want to import my data now. So you say I'm gonna select import, then check the file name. Okay, so you need to browse to where you save the data. So I would advise you create a folder where you have the data so it will not be messy on your device, on your machine. Then I'll select my country-wise data set, click on open. I have it in the CSV file format. You can click on the options, so you can see it has an header. The delimiter is comma because it's a comma separated value document. Okay, then if I click on columns, you can see the columns that it picked from the CSV file. Then I press OK. So now it says copying data, and then it says the process was what was completed. Okay, so let's click on this close. Now let's check if our data exists right now. So let's check the table again. We'll use the format query to check our table as well. So we'll use the select star from country wise. Let's check if our data has been successfully imported. So let me execute again. Then we have this. So you can see before we didn't have any values, but after importing our data, you can see we have values being represented here duly. And this did not throw any error because our date our table had the right format. It was consistent. Okay, so you can decide to explore the type of error you get in that you change, for instance, this death per cases. Okay, this death per 100 cases, if you decide to change it to integer, you'd see that it's going to throw you an error, not allowing you to upload that data because it's not in the consistent format. All right, so we're done with the GUI phase. I would also love to explain the command line using the command line tool. Okay, so how does that come up? So let's say we want to create a duplicate table known as country-wise tool. Okay, country-wise, and then number two, it's gonna be the same. Uh, Let me close this bracket. Okay, so it's gonna be the same data set. Okay, using the PSQL tool now. So let's run this. Let's execute this to create our table. Now, if you come to tables, let me click on refresh. You would see now that we have two tables here, country-wise two. So let's check for country-wise two if there's any data in it. I'll select start from country-wise two. You could see it does not have any data at the moment. No data at the moment. So let's import using the command line. So instead of using the GUI such that you have to, right click and then do import or export data. So I'm just going to use a simple line. So I said here, I have to bring in a comment. I said for you to load data using your PSQL tool, you need to uncomment. That is, you remove this comment here. So to uncomment means to remove this. Okay, then you have it as /copy this, and then into the PSQL tool, then you ensure the file path is set correctly. So the format is this /copy into table name, which is countrywise 2 table, from the file path where I have my document. Okay, then I would say it's a CSV file and it has a header. So now let me go to the file paths. So for many of you, this is the countrywise document. Okay, so let's see if I can show you how to copy file path using the properties. Then you can see, yeah, this is the what? This is the location. C /users. You can as well do Control C to copy. Well, let me see if we can get an advanced details to copy the name of the file. Okay, so you can copy this using this object's name here. Let me see if this okay. Control C, then you click on your OK. Uh, so my copied, so you can see I was able to copy the file path successfully. So let me write that statement so you can see from the scratch. So it's gonna be the /copy, okay, into table name countrywise 2 from where I want to copy from. Okay, so I said I'm copying from this location. Ensure it's in these it's in quotes. Then you say it's a CSV file, and then it's an header. It has an header. Then you end it with your what? With your semicolon. Okay, so you can say I have the same thing here. Just that I have to rewrite this one to copy my the file path using the option I showed you earlier on. So you can just do copy Control C. So now you come to the countrywise 2. You right click on it and you select PSQL tool. PSQL tool. It's going to give you a command line interface now. So let's select that. All right, so it's loading. So you can see it says this is a console for you to write. So here it's saying you are on COVID DB. So just click on this space. So this is where you can write. You can as well type in your query yourself, the backward slash copy and all, but I'll just do copy and paste. I'll do Control V. Okay, so it can give you a pop-up to allow you to paste and copy on your machine. So you just select allow, then you paste. So once you click on, after pasting, you just click on enter. So you can see it gave this successfully. It says copy 187. So let's navigate our way back to our SQL query. Let's click on this header. Okay, so let me delete this. Then let me put this back in comments so that it will be easier for you. So the on comment part is just you removing this comment. Then you copy this line 50. Then you paste in your PSQL tool. For now, I do not need it again. Okay, so let's retrieve the imported data sets in a line in country-wise table too. So select start from country-wise 2. That is using our PSQL tool right now. Then let's play. Let's execute. So you can see it successfully imported our data set. So I've shown you how to upload your data using the GUI as well as the CLI, which is also known as the PSQL tool. In case of any question, you can reach out to me. And if there are errors to debug, just feel free to reach out and we have a walkthrough together. Thank you.